Okay, we need some pens.
Chaos. Just utter,
Do you have pens?
unfiltered chaos.
Oh gosh.
That's what tonight is going to be all about as we try to unfold, unload, and get you guys downloaded for game one. Tomorrow, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Yo, what up? It's not Sunday. Surprise. Surprise. It's not Sunday. It's Wednesday. It's really late for a lot of you guys. I appreciate for those of you that are tuning in. Joe said, let's go. He said, where's Rico? Don't worry. If whoever comes in is going to come in, whoever is here is going to be here. We're going to get through what we can get through, give you guys what we can give you. And I promise you, we're going to do the best of our ability because, like I said, this is part 2 today, okay, of the finals preview. We couldn't get through everything that we wanted to in that hour, and we're probably not going to get you guys enough right now. So you guys are going to have to follow us at sportsaffiliation.com. You have to follow us on X at Sports Affiliation. You have to follow my guys JC. You have to follow Joe, who just got off of his amazing show. Was the Aces up? Tapped in while I was at work. It was a nice little thing to do. It was right before the show, so make sure that you got to hit that subscribe button, you got to hit that like button, you got to get notified. That's how you guys are going to get the info, at least at what we can give you right now today. So let's get into it. Oklahoma City, Indiana Pacers. Season series right now. Season series is 2-0 OKC. Sort of a tale of two tapes with these two games. So the initial show, we talked about the ability of SGA, the path that they went through versus Indy, who, again, I said no faith, right? And they're here now. Game one, and here's why I had no faith is because the team that I thought was going to show was the one where Halliburton scored like 9 points for the game, for the first game. It had got a lot from Pascal Siakam. Double, in fact. SGA had 45 that game. Okay.
More butterflies? And if you do, draw a circle.
There was no Chet Holmgren at that time. Remember that OKC had acquired Isaiah Hartenstein because New York didn't want to give him the money that we all knew that he was due because of his performance in the previous playoffs. Ends up being the Chet replacement until Chet came back. So this first game, OKC won without Chet Holmgren, which is a lot because this is the Chet Holmgren whom we said was...
Oh, that's a cupcake, so we don't circle that one. You did them all. You were just to do the butterflies. So
Rookie of the Year, runner-up. But there was supposed to be the Wemby alternative, right?
So you can draw it.
He was supposed to be the other guy that was supposed to be the up-and-coming player in the league. You know, this kid is too light, doesn't rebound, not tough enough. And Indiana did not have to play against 2 shot blockers at this time. So that's one thing that OKC is looking to bring.
What color balloon is it?
But then on this other side, you had the emergence of the reemergence of Miles Turner. Andrew Nembhard was slowly becoming that dude. I mean, yeah, he showed some premise the season before and in certain games, and you saw it more. Carlisle had more trust in him as a player as the season went on, but that was not the. It was a lower scoring game than the second game, of which it was like 240 something points between the two teams. So both games get over the 110 mark. So that's something that we got to note there. So if we're looking at overs for the game, if you guys have been keeping up to date with the lines as far as that's concerned, Both games
Okay. Let's try another
are
game.
actually in the 220, 223 range. So both teams can score. We know that. It's the presence and which Tyrese Halliburton that we're gonna get for between game 1 and game 2, which is probably going to be the key difference in the over as far as the total is concerned. Pulling it up right now. Right now we're at 230.5. Okay. Over is minus 120. Under is minus 105. So as far as the total is concerned,
can you do this?
A lot of these games for Indiana went to overtime. They get down double-digit leads. I know they haven't been playing against OKC, whom they, again, down 0-2. But double-digit leads and comebacks seem to be the theme in these playoffs. It's happened on the West and the East. And those double-digit leads, when lost, have been pushed to the brink of these games and pushed the games into overtime. And I think that's where we get the over. So we're just going to make that first note. Over 230.5 on total, so 231 and beyond. It looks to be the going trend right now. Like I said, it's minus 120 versus the under. Here's the other next fun part. So let's talk about both games, right? And shout out to you guys if you're up this late actually listening in, if you don't have one eye open right now.
Over. Good job, girl.
So we had game 2, which again I said was like about 240 points. We're gonna get the stats for you right now. But right now, and it's been Sunday was where we started at, and right then and there the spread was 9.5. It is Wednesday. It's 8 in the evening, and the spread is still 9.5. Okay, so what does that mean for us? All right, so I think the biggest issue with me right now is the fact that I looked up and I sort of wanted to lean on the stat about OKC's overall record against the spread. Something like 60-30 or something like that over all time against the spread. I like the stat as an overall stat as far as how sure you can be as far as trying to make some money if you bet on the spread. The issue then becomes what happens when you get to 9.5, 9, 8. The truth of the matter is that OKC doesn't really do well when it starts to get into the 8.5 and 9 range and up. We've had some 13.5, 14.5. OKC doesn't do so well. They win their game, but as far as against the spread, losing record. Okay. So if this stays at 9.5, personally, I put my money on plus 9.5 for Indiana. Plus 9.5 and minus 110. A little bit more of a sure thing. It's not these playoffs have been so much closer than what the spread suggests. And just want to make sure you get a good look at me here. I don't have faith in game 1s for OKC. The trend has been Indiana's just been more impressive in their game 1s. Not just in wins, but just being able to cover the spread. So, again, close games, overtime, all that stuff. I'm going with Indiana plus 9.5 on this one. I just really, even before doing the research, I have trouble when the spread is so far apart for a team that scores a lot versus a team that scores a lot. I mean, these two teams, even though scoring went down this season, we saw more rules being implemented. The averaging of these in these playoffs not a lot of games going over that 120 mark unless they needed help from overtime. I don't like when there's an opportunity for someone like Miles Turner and then Pascal Siakam and then Tyrese Haliburton to hit back-to-back threes to be able to close that gap. That's all that it takes. That's what happened in the Knicks series. That's what happened in the Milwaukee series. That's what happened in the Cleveland series. Is that teams had faith in in that gap, and then got tired out. OKC's not going to be quite that team, but OKC still is very prone to mistakes. It's still a youngish team, and so because of that, all those reasons and some more, I don't like that big of a spread. So I'm hoping that closer to game time that drops to about 6, and that we get something a little bit more than an ability to bet on OKC against the spread. Because yes, they are successful when that number drops down, but just 9.5. Okay, I don't know, man. If OKC comes through with this, then maybe it'll be a boat race. It'll be a 4 and out, but I just that's a lot. So that game 2 this season. $132 to $111. A little bit more from Tyrese Haliburton. That game we got 18. Yeah, Haliburton went 6 or 12, a lot better shooting at that point. Went 4 for 9, so he actually came alive from distance, which we know that he has the ability to do. It's the consistency of which one we get is the issue. So 18 and 4. But still, that game was well out of hand by the start of the third quarter. It is possible that because the game 1 in the regular season, that if you wanted to break the games down, first quarter, like I said, first game, Indiana does come out strong. It is highly possible that you can bet on that first quarter if you get the live bet, just money line in that regard. But first game performances, if you're looking for players to bet on, first, let's start out with Pascal Siakam. I think that the success of the Indiana Pacers, of course, everyone knows, former champion with the Toronto Raptors, comes and becomes the new it guy, where number 0 just didn't perform well. Pascal's been pretty consistent. In that game, of course, that was a very paltry game from Pascal Siakam. He had 11 points that game, which is a rarity for him. Guy could run 11 first quarter in his sleep if he wanted to. That's how good of a scorer he is. But Pascal Siakam is one of those guys whom I have more faith in as far as like a PRA or a higher points perspective. In fact, props right now, PRA, Pascal Siakam. $29.5. I think it's a very strong number. I think it's a very good number. Over 29.5, under 29.5, and lines at about 29.5 is lines 120. I like that. I would take that. And I think right behind Pascal Siakam, as far as sure numbers are concerned, are SGA's assists. His PRA right now, because we were still on that, is at 45.5 at -110. Yes, the sun rises and sets on the play of SGA, and so will the pace of his playoffs. But game 1 is going to be such a you have two teams that are young enough to, without minus a couple of people. Again, Rick Carlisle, Alex Caruso, and Pascal Siakam are the three people I can think of off the top of my head that have been to a championship. So that leaves a possible 24, 25 other people. I'm doing math just quickly off the top of my head that are going to be seeing me the brightest stage. It's going to be in OKC. Everyone's going to have them blue and white shirts out, color coordinated crowd, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's either going to be the yips, one big experiment, or complete blowout. I don't know which team OKC is going to be. I'm pretty more sure of Indiana trying to wake OKC up and having this thing turn into a boat race. But in a boat race, unless you're seeing some buckle down on the interior scoring in the mid-range, which is where SGA really likes to score, I don't think SGA is going to get to that 45 line. I think it's a little high. I personally would put the under on that. I don't like it when it starts to get into the 40s and 50s and stuff like that. I think it just says that one player is going to take care of everything, which is not how OKC is built. I mean, when it comes to rebounding itself, Hartenstein takes care of like 10 or 12 of those. Chet's good for a couple of offensive rebounds, so that already takes away from some of those rebounding opportunities for SGA. Not that he needs them for the play of the game, but for your sake of trying to hit that line. So we'll go ahead and bet the under on that. But as far as his assists are concerned, eight assists in game 2. Then game 1. In game 1, where SGA shot 15 out of 22. It's absolutely ridiculous. Jalen Williams 8 for 22. So we're going to get to him in a minute. Also 8 assists. So distributing the ball is not an issue for this OKC team. It's also how Indiana plays. So we're going to see the ball whip around a lot. Assist line. I'm much more confident in players as SGA right now over 6.5, minus 150. Under 6.5 plus 105. Right now, we're more sure of just based on, yes, it's based on the stats alone. You shave off a couple of assists. Play gets a little tighter in the playoffs. I understand that much. But consistency of play, see over the season, he's averaging 6.4 assists. So he gets the ball to where it needs to be. He creates things. He makes things happen. I'm going over. Everyone else thinks it's a sure thing. I think it's a sure thing. I think that more guys are going to be open than we expected to. And those are the big two. Again, Pascal and then SGA. But let's talk about Agent Zero for a second. Main scoring area, 3-point line, has been happening all the way through the playoffs. If you decide to play Tyrese Halliburton in daily fantasy, or you're betting on any sort of prop bets for him, the only assured volume category in any category right now, 3 points made, assists, and a steal or two. He still is defensively sound and comes up with opportunities when he's guarding on the perimeter. But as far as how that affects the game overall, You won't know until the fourth quarter. So for my bettors out there, personally, like a little bit more of a sure thing, although nothing is sure in life except death and taxes. Wait till the fourth quarter, see if you can catch a live bet. See if the kid gets hot. See if it looks like he's been getting good opportunities all game, but just hasn't been able to connect on them, because it's only a matter of time. The Indiana Pacers are nuts in the fourth quarter. And they've done it against every single team that they beat. Turning around from the mid-third to all the way through the fourth and just continue to pour it on. And in those scoring droughts, when like it seemed like they're gassed out of shooting the ball well, and I'm talking about Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton finds a way to pin himself in between endpoint to endpoint of the scoring droughts and keeps the distance close against teams that are up, or holds off those teams that seem to be closing the gap, like he did in the game 4 and game 5 in New York. I'm just utterly shocked that we have the Pacers right now as a team to bet on, because, yo, what's good, Iggy? Just trying to get all the info out that we can for this series, man. Because I had a pretty good feeling about OKC. I listened to the doubts about OKC and how they weren't prepared. This game 1 is going to be all the difference in the world for all the bettors out there. So we don't have futures for you. We will be putting those tickets up later on as far as the series is concerned. I'll get those up for you guys tomorrow when we're in Vegas. But let's go over real quick. I just want to throw out a couple of tickets that we put together. Maybe you'll like some of these. We'll add these to the post on X. We'll put the link to said post in the comments below for you guys to refer back to. So that way you can do what you need to do. That's fun. Tyrese Halliburton discounted at 13.5 by Prize Picks for those of you that play on that app. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at that out there. But right now, Tyrese Halliburton, I mentioned that. This was before the adjustment was made. Took him at over 14.5. SGA under 33.5 points. It's not that I don't think that he could score 34. I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think what will be is going to be interior scoring. Get to that in a second. Pascal Siakam, PRA 28.5. I think a 30 burger would be relevant for this first game. I think that we're going to get a beast out of Pascal Siakam. I think that having tasted the fruit before, which is an NBA ring, I think he knows how much it's going to take and how much effort he's going to have to put forward, especially if we get the same Tyrese Halliburton that was in the first regular season game versus this team. That was the first ticket. Second ticket, and again, we'll post this up. You can follow me. Don't forget on X at 4F Apollo. Be posting it there. Tag the sports affiliation so that we could put that there. Iggy says Caruso and Siakam going to do big things. Caruso and Siakam going to do big things. Yes, absolutely agree. We talked about those two. Again, they both got championship DNA in their blood. They both got a ring each. You cannot take that away from them. Miles Turner. He was a beast in the board game, that first game. And had 5 blocks too. So put him up for 5.5 rebounds. I'll tell you why in just a few. Andrew Nembhard, again, a guy that has come into his own for this season. 3 points attempted. He does get open opportunities, which is why his scoring volume has increased so much. I put his attempts. I got his attempts at 3.5. Went the over on that. I'm not sure which Tyrese Halliburton we're going to get again. And I'm leaning more towards the one that's just not going to show up this first game on the offensive scoring side. Field goal attempts, 14.5. I bet the under on that. I think he's going to be distributing a lot more, trying to help a little bit more out on defense, try to get some of those rebounds. Chet Holmgren. I think that what Indiana's going to try to do, longest tenure pacer. Yeah, he is. Chet Holmgren, I think what Indiana's going to try to do is try to get Chet into some foul trouble early. So I put there was a line for personal fouls, so I took it over 2.5. Chet has come close to fouling out of a few of these OKC games. I have seen Mark Dagnall take Chet out when his speed has not been up to par to be able to defend well against teams, or his strength has been too light, and so he hasn't been able to affect plays, especially in the first quarter. So if we see that same pattern going on, as probably I'll miss this one, but I'm knocking on wood and I'm taking the over on over 2.5 fouls. I think we'll see a little bit more aggressive Chet out there, and Indiana's going to try to use that in their favor. I don't think he's going to get any more than 4, but 2.5 sounds good to me. SGA took it again under 33.5. I just don't think we need 34 points from SGA, but hey, go off. Appreciate that, Iggy. Yeah, I agree. Easy get. Last but not least, Jalen Williams. And if you haven't been following the Thunder, you haven't been following NBA basketball. But Jalen Williams has been one of the three-headed hydra of scoring from OKC. And his line is at over 17.5 field goals attempted. Game 1, Jalen Williams, 8 for 22. Game 2, Jalen Williams, 7 for 14, a little bit more quiet. But double-digit attempts is definitely his forte. I'll finish the rest. Yeah, good night, Joe. Appreciate you tuning in for when you can. Get some sleep. SGA, he's missed 1 free throw against the Pacers. I like this stat. So if you guys are looking for free throw lines, that'll be a fun stat to put up. Free throw attempts, I would not touch that, because if we get the right crew, SGA is not going to see a lot of free throws. But the thing is, SGA, they do the comparison to Jalen Brunson and SGA for free throw merchant is the term. I don't like that terminology personally, because if you get the call, you get the call. If you don't get the call, you don't get the call. And it's not about star power or anything. It's just playing your type of game. SGA is way more shifty than Jalen Brunson is. Iggy says he's good for at least 10 plus free throws guaranteed. I'll tell you what, between you and I, Iggy, I have a little side action going on. I'm taking an under. If the line is 10, I'm taking under. I even give you half. 10 and a half. I'm taking the under. And I say if you get the right crew,
okay, I'm gonna cut your nails, baby.
Could mess up a lot of stuff there. He's gonna take the over. We're gonna talk about we'll figure out the details after the show. But that wraps up that ticket. Game 1, OKC money line, or if you're taking the spread again, if you get the 9.5, I take the 9.5. I've been wrong. I've seen it be blown open before, but just I don't like that number. So I'm more betting against the number than I am against the team themselves. Take that 9.5. March 29th, SGA 10 and 12. Yes. Yes, we meant yes. And then on the follow-up game, we got 329, 10 and 12. Yes. Missed 2, excuse me. Yeah, because that one free throw is going to make all the difference. It's not, in the grand scheme of things, as far as pick 'em for this game one, my head says bet OKC. Straight up. My head says bet the spread for Indiana. But I've been wrong before. Do what thou wilt with that information. Yes. OKC won. Yes, and that was that first game. OKC had to come from behind to win that game. So Iggy says he took the spread. We're gonna post more tickets up tomorrow. Thank you. We don't know which guy we're gonna get. If you're sure of which Halliburton that you're getting, and if you think that his performance, whatever it's going to be, is within the range of your over or under, bet Halliburton. We'll also stay away from Halliburton. We got guys that have put up some tickets and DFS stuff. We're going to get that information from them and put that on the post as well. So there's a lot of posts that are going to be posted up in the morning. So we're not doing this tonight. We're going to get all this stuff out for you in the morning. Okay? Keep an eye out on that line. Bet smart. Be lucky. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Got a little one to take care of right before we head to Lost Wages. Love you guys all, and make sure to tap in. Again, there's gonna be more stuff coming to you tomorrow. It's just gonna be piecemealed. So keep tapped in, keep tuned in. Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of the TSA Hoop Show. It's crazy, had to spread this out over that time. Thanks, Iggy, for tuning in. Thanks, Joe, for tuning in. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If you're watching this later, hey, be there, be square. Game 1 tomorrow, 5:30. See you there. Peace.